morning. Most of the students have joined. So we'll continue with the types of nuclear reactions. As can be seen from yesterday's numerous number of examples from nuclear chemistry, we have revealed that a particular projectile that is used to obtain a particular product nucleus or recoil nucleus, what we call as daughter element. In this regard, yesterday we have seen the first type of nuclear reaction, that is artificial transmutation or artificial disintegration, wherein we have studied that the conversion of an atom of an element into atom of another element by artificial means. So this is not a natural process. This is an artificial process. We have to convert a particular atomic nucleus into another atomic nucleus by using specific projectiles. So in artificial transmutation, sometimes helium nucleus is used, that is alpha particles. The protons, neutrons, deuterons, or gamma rays may also be used so as to convert the atomic nucleus into the new product, that is nuclear product, what we call as a recoil nucleus. In this regard, we have seen certain examples of bombardment of certain target nucleus with the help of a certain particles such as alpha particles, neutrons, protons, deuterons, and the gamma rays also. Today, we are going to study another type of nuclear reaction, that is second type of nuclear reaction, what we call as artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity. You have to mark this artificial radioactivity or induced activity because I'm giving the example, and this type is very important from the examination point of view because this artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity was first of all discovered by a couple. Perhaps you might be knowing the names of this couple is Irene Curie and Frederick Joliot Curie in the year 1933. For this magnificent discovery of this couple, in those days, a Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded to this couple in the year 1935. That means after just the noble work that was carried out by this couple in the year 1933, they have been awarded by the Nobel Prize in the year 1935. I would like to show you certain images also. I am having the images so that you will come to know the noble work of these two couple. But a very negative point of this discovery is that the polonium and radium, on these two radioactive elements, this couple was working continuously. And as we know, we being chemistry students, that all these radioactive elements, they emit radiations, and these radiations penetrate our body, and the human body starts to deteriorate. And when these couple working continuously on such radioactive elements, and they died because of the radioactivity. So whatever they have discovered, and the cause of death was their own discovery. So this is very fatal, and this is a very beneficial for mankind because of this discovery. Nowadays, except India, in foreign countries, the electricity is only on account of this nuclear reaction, that is nuclear radioactivity, which emits a lot of energy that we have seen earlier. So artificial radioactivity or artificial induced radioactivity can be defined as the nuclear process by which radioactivity is induced in a common stable element, giving a new radioactive isotope is known as the radioactivity, is known as the artificial radioactivity. So here the element is bombarded with some projectile which gives rise to a new element which is basically radioactive. So radioisotope have been obtained. So the artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity is a two-step process. I will show you by taking some examples where this process, that is artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity, is a two-step process. In the first step, a radioisotope have been obtained, and this radioisotope, as it is unstable and it disintegrates to form a stable daughter element with the ejection of certain ejectiles. Let us see certain examples. I wish that you should use your notebook, because in the beginning I have told you that this reaction is very, very important from the examination point of view. So let us begin with this artificial radioactivity. I will giving the another word also, which is also known as induced radioactivity. So you have to write the heading. I am giving both the words for your understanding. Now, just now we have seen that artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity is nothing but a nuclear process by which radioactivity is induced in common stable elements, giving a new radioisotope is known as artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity. Now here, suppose, for example, when magnesium, as we know, atom number 12, atomic mass 24, when magnesium was bombarded with alpha particles, for example, helium-2, these are regarded as alpha particles. When magnesium was bombarded with helium as a projectile, here this magnesium is converted into or transformed into radiosilicon. For example, here, if I write a ejectile such as neutron, the remaining part that we know that 12 plus 2 is 14, because no atomic mass, atomic number is there. 24 plus 4 is 28 minus 1 is 27, and atomic number 14 is of silicon, but you have to mark this silicon by a asterisk sign. So during the study of nuclear reactions, if a particular element, if it is marked by a asterisk sign, that is indicates that it is a radioisotope or radio element. Now, as this isotope that is formed, this is a first step of this reaction. This is unstable, and hence it tries to become stable and it again disintegrates. So the radiosilicon 1427, which is a radioisotope, which again disintegrates to give here. If I write E plus 1, 0, this is known as the positron. This is known as a positron. Positrons are emitted only when atoms, those are involved in a nuclear reactions having low atomic masses. Then and then positrons are emitted. Now the rest part is very simple. 14 plus 14 minus 1. 14 minus 1 is 13. 27 as it is. So atom number 13 is of aluminum. So our travel begins from magnesium to silicon, which yields aluminum. So here the formation of a stable element, that is the aluminum, is the second step of the reaction with the ejectiles such as positron. Some of the target nucleus which are having higher atomic masses, then an electron is ejected. So whenever we designate this -1 E0, that indicates as it is a electron, and whenever we designate a plus sign, it is a positively charged species known as a positron. So by bombarding this magnesium with alpha particles, which yields the radiosilicon, this radiosilicon, this is a formation of first step. Now, in the second step, this radiosilicon disintegrates to yield aluminum with a ejectile such as the positron. So here, this reaction in terms of the notations, how can we write? Here, magnesium is a target element which is bombarded with alpha particles, that is helium nucleus, in which neutrons are ejected. So magnesium, then alpha particles and neutrons are ejected. So target nucleus, the projectile and the ejectile. So this is strictly according to the Bethes notation. This is first step. I am giving here the shortcuts for the better understanding. When you study for the exam for 6th semester, this will help you a lot. So magnesium alpha M is a first step, and second step is the positron. This is a second step. So you should remember only this part that will make you perfect in nuclear reactions. So this is a artificial radioactivity, where a nuclear process of which radioactivity is induced in common stable element. So here magnesium was not radioactive, but by bombardment with alpha particles, radioactivity is induced. So this particular reaction is included under artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity. We have deliberately made a radioisotope from magnesium, and a new element that is formed is a radiosilicon. So this is made deliberately by bombardment with alpha particles. So some typical examples I would like to give you here. These examples are very interesting to study. Suppose, for example, if we carry out again certain reactions by taking alpha particles, say for example, for instance, boron 510. Alpha particles means helium-2, 4. You have to write side by side. Here, during this process, again, if a neutron is ejected, now what is remaining? It is very simple. 5 plus 2 is 7. 10 plus 4 is 14 minus 1 is 13. 7, 13 is a atomic number 7 is of nitrogen, but the stable nucleus of nitrogen is having atomic mass 14, but here atomic mass obtained is a 13, and hence it is again radioisotope. So you have to mark this nitrogen 713 as a radioisotope, as it is a first step of this reaction. Now, what is the second step? This radioisotope, which is thus formed by bombardment with alpha particles, nitrogen 713, this disintegrates. Here you should not forget to write the asterisk sign, otherwise it is of no use. So this nitrogen, as just now we have seen that whenever low atomic masses are there, then a positron is ejected. So if a positron is ejected, what is remaining here? 7 minus 1 is 6, 13 as it is. So atom number 6 is of carbon. So from this boron, a radioisotope have been obtained. That means the radioactivity is induced by artificial means. That means by bombarding this boron with alpha particles, we have obtained a radionitrogen. This radionitrogen thus obtained disintegrates and it forms a stable element such as carbon 613 with the ejection of the positron. So this is known as a second step of the reaction. So according to notations, how can we write? Boron is the projectile, boron is a target nucleus, alpha particles as the projectiles, and the neutrons are the ejectiles. This is the first step. Now what is the second step? Again, second step is the positron. That means the same product that is to be disintegrated with the ejectiles such as the positron. So this is how we can create or we can induce the radioactivity in certain elements which are normally stable in nature, but because of the bombardment, they become radioisotope. Another example I would like to give you by the bombardment by proton. So how can we induce a radioactivity with the help of these protons? Let us take an example of carbon. Carbon, as we know, 612, a stable element. Proton means 1H1, as we know. Here, 6 plus 1 is 7. 12 plus 1 is 13. Again, a radioisotope of nitrogen is obtained. No particle is ejected. Now, this is the first step of this reaction. The second step of this reaction, this radio-nitrogen 713, that continuously goes on disintegration to form a stable product. Here, again, a positron is formed. That means 7 minus 1 is 6, 13 as it is. So 613, carbon 613 have been produced. So this yields carbon 613. This is second step of the reaction. How can we write with the help of notation? Carbon as the target nucleus, protons as the projectiles, and this is the first step. What is the second step? Ejection of positrons. So if you remember only this much part, it is very easy to write all such nuclear reactions under the induced radioactivity. Now, take for instance another example, that is the bombardment by gamma radiations. Bombardment by gamma radiations. As we know, gamma radiations are chargeless particles. Here, for example, if we take for instance the example of phosphorus, atom number 15, atomic weight 31, gamma radiations as a projectiles. Here, this can produce or the ejectile such as neutrons are obtained. So if neutrons are obtained, what is the remaining product? 15 as it is. 31 minus 1 is 30. So a radioisotope of phosphorus have been produced during this disintegration. And as we know, this is the first step. This is unstable. It tries to become stable. Phosphorus 1530, as it is a radioisotope, we have to mark this with the help of a asterisk sign. Here, again, as it is a low atomic mass, hence always it yields a positron. Now, rest part is very simple. If positron is ejected during this nuclear reaction, then 15 minus 1 is 14, 30 as it is. Atom number 14 is of silicon. So this silicon is different from this silicon. Here, this silicon, this form is a radiosilicon, atom number 14, but atomic mass is 27. But here, this radiosilicon that is obtained having atomic mass greater than the previous, that is radiosilicon. So this is how the bombardment with gamma particles that can be carried out. So if we apply the notations for this reaction, then phosphorus is a target nucleus with which gamma particles are bombarded. During this course, neutrons are ejected. This is the first step of the reaction. And the second step of the reaction, a positron is emitted. So this is just for your simplicity of study. So if you close your notebook and just remember the atomic number and atomic masses, then you will arrive easily at the products of the main reaction. So I have given purposefully certain reactions which always yields the positrons in the second step. See here, the first reaction, this is a first reaction with magnesium. Here in the second step, see here, positron is ejected in the second step. Now, here it is showing I am running out of time. Then, when the bombardment by alpha particles is carried out, first step as it is, neutrons are ejectiles, but in the second step, see here, positrons are ejected. This is the second reaction. Now, consider the third reaction, bombardment by protons. Here, when a target nucleus is bombarded with protons 1h1, again in the second step, see here, positron is formed. And the fourth reaction with phosphorus, just now we have finished, that here in this second step, again a positron is emitted. So everywhere, those four reactions that we have studied, everywhere a positron is emitted. So in brief, if you forget the second step, here again second step, this is a second step and this is second step. Everywhere positron is emitted as a ejectile. So just your job is to carry out the reaction with magnesium and alpha particles with the ejection of neutrons. And in the second step, here the radiosilicon that is formed, that disintegrates to form aluminium. It is not necessary to write aluminium here, because if you carry out this particular step, then 14 minus 1 is 13 and atomic number 13 is of aluminium. So everywhere you can find that a positron is emitted in this case. And hence we can remember these reactions in the similar fashion. Now we shall proceed with the third type, that is known as the projectile capture reaction, which is very easy to understand. The third type is a projectile capture reactions. Now, from the name of this type, we can reveal that here, if we bombard a target nucleus with a projectile, that projectile is captured by the host nucleus. How? See here. Here, the projectiles may be used as the neutrons, or sometimes gamma rays are used. For example, sodium, atomic number 11, atomic mass 23. Here, if neutrons are used as a projectiles, here the reaction, if it is carried out, if gamma radiations are ejected, now rest product is very simple. 11 as it is, 23 plus 1 is 24. Another isotope of sodium is formed. So here only gamma particles are ejected. So this projectile that is captured by this host nucleus, and a new isotope of the target nucleus that is obtained. Another example of copper, atom number 2963, which is a mass number. If neutrons are bombarded during this course, if gamma radiations are there, now rest product is very simple. 29 as it is, 63 1 plus 1 is 64. It is again copper. So in this reaction, again a new isotope of copper that is obtained. So if we take another example of carbon 612 with protons, this is also very simple reaction, and gamma particles are ejected. What is the remaining product? Very simple. 6 plus 1 is 7, 12 plus 1 is 13, 7, 13, nitrogen is obtained. Now, what is a common conclusion that can be drawn here? If we carry out the reaction by taking the projectiles, either neutrons or protons, here the particles which are ejected are only gamma radiations. That means here, whatever the projectiles are used in this process, in this nuclear reaction, those projectiles are captured and a new isotope have been produced, except that of the third reaction. So the nuclear reactions in which projectile is captured but parent element without emission of any other particle, that is ejectiles, are called as projectile capture reactions. Generally, alpha radiations are emitted in, generally the gamma radiations, as I have shown, the gamma radiations are emitted during this course of a reaction. So if you remember these first two reactions, then it is very simple. If a question of the type, if it is asked, give what are projectile capture reactions, explain with the help of reaction. It is very simple. Here, just we have to bombard this target nucleus with neutrons and only gamma particles are ejected. So we have to make a common statement that will enable us for the easy understanding of the entire process. So I would like to show you the couple who were awarded by the magnificent discovery, the significant discovery of the radioactivity. Here I would like to share the screen. Yes. You see this? These are the pictures of, this is a couple. First picture, she is Miss Irene Curie and this is Mr. Frederick Curie. They have jointly worked continuously and they have found she's Miss Irene Curie. See every picture, the picture that is uploaded on Google, these pictures are not from their homes itself, but majority of the pictures are shown here in the lab itself. So here, one more picture is there. See, this couple is sitting quietly, and here again, the experiment that they have carried out. See, this is a picture again from the laboratory. So if you go through YouTube, then you also reveal how they have contributed to mankind because of the discovery of this polonium and radium. Here, she is Miss Irene Curie. See these pictures. Everywhere you can find that they are working in the laboratory, and because of the radiations, those are emitted from either radium or polonium, which are hazardous to mankind. They directly penetrate in our body. Hence, perhaps you might have, I would like to stop the sharing. I want to tell you some things. Only 2 minutes are left. Here, perhaps you might have seen in hospitals, whenever X-ray is taken, the X-ray technician, he utilizes a rubber gown. You can see very carefully in hospitals, whenever there are X-rays are taken, the technicians always used to wear a rubber gown. Rubbers they do not allow to penetrate the radiations, and for this reason, they themselves protect from these radiations such as X-rays. Otherwise, the fatal death may take place. So the work of technician of X-ray is noteworthy here. So I would like to stop here because today we have studied two different types of these nuclear reactions, wherein we have studied the artificial or induced radioactivity, and the second, that is projectile capture reactions also. So I would like to stop here. Again,